A secret you would take to your grave.
It was my wife's fault that we lost our daughter. We were a young couple. We wanted to start a family immediately after tying the knot. To us it felt like a natural progression of our journey together. We were only 23 when we had our daughter. We were both thrilled. And while it was no doubt difficult for new parents, especially young ones whose careers hadn't even taken off yet, I thought that everything would be all right. We overestimated ourselves becoming new parents. We didn't know it at that time, but my wife suffered from postpartum. She was crying often and was overwhelmed by the simplest tasks. I admit I wasn't the best partner at that time. I was working overtime, trying to earn more and, if I'm being honest, to get away from the responsibilities at home. I knew I should be more present, but I also couldn't deal with the stress that came with having a newborn. She was dealing with a baby and the home all by herself. I helped with the chores when I returned from work, but it was all her the most part of the day. The stress was bringing us both down, more so her because, I admit, I left her on her own to deal with it. She was crying when I returned home one night. I knew she was overwhelmed, and the crying was a frequent thing for her. She was preparing a milk bottle for our daughter when she just stopped and collapsed on the floor to cry. I found her like that. Seeing her at her lowest pulled something in me. I was overcome with guilt, knowing that I could have seen the signs if only I paid attention to her. I checked our daughter, who was still asleep, then I immediately carried my wife to our room and apologized for leaving her. I told her we would get her some help for the home. I promised I wouldn't let her do all of it alone anymore. I was able to get her to sleep. I went to the kitchen to clean the mess. I took my time there, cleaning the spills, washing the dishes, taking the trash out. I thought I also needed time to clear my head to plan for tomorrow. I smelled the smoke before I heard the alarm. I ran to my daughter's room and saw my wife racing towards it as well. She quickly grabbed our daughter while grabbed the extinguisher in the corridor. The fire was still small but was quickly enveloping the room. I managed to put it out. I thought that was the end of it when I heard my wife cry for me. We rushed our daughter to the emergency room. She inhaled a lot of smoke, which unfortunately proved too much for her little body. Both my wife and I were devastated. I was trying to stay strong for her because I knew, with how inconsolable she was at that time, this tragedy would destroy her. Investigations found that it was a faulty electrical socket. It was the socket on the wall near where my wife spilled the milk bottle's content. It was the water that splashed into the wall. I handled everything. I made sure my wife got the help she needed while I arranged the funeral and got everything in order. I thought I was going to lose her too. In one of our counseling sessions, she admitted that she felt guilty because she was thinking of ending her life just moments before, and her negative thoughts affected her baby instead of her. It was a long process for her. The grief and the guilt she felt kept haunting her for a long time. But therapy helped. It has been years since the incident and I can now say that things are much better today. We restarted our family when we were ready. I vowed to be there for her every step of the way, and I kept my promise. I also vowed to take care of her always, and that includes protecting her from knowing the truth. I will never ever tell her or anyone else what caused the electrical socket to ignite. Because even though it was the spill from the bottle that caused it when she had a breakdown, I was very much to blame for not being the husband and partner that she deserved. I will never let her go through hell again.
If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video and subscribe for more. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you very much.